Hey guys, so it is a beautiful day outside. We're getting closer to spring, and I'm starting to think about summertime and getting kind of that bronzed, glowy look. So we're gonna do a fun kind of spring, summery look today. So we're gonna start with eye primer. This is super important. It's gonna help your, especially your Pigma eyeshadow, it's gonna help that stick really well. I'm gonna get that all over our lids, up to the brow bone. Anywhere that you would put on the eyeshadow, I'll put a little bit more. I have a new special color I'm going to show you, and I really want it to stick well. It's called Heartbroken. It was inspired by Lady Gaga's performance to get it. Kind of a really pretty rosy red color. Okay, so we'll let that dry for just a second, and I'll show you the color I'm going to use. Isn't it pretty? Get some on my lid. Get plenty out. You can see the color? Pretty, huh? Okay. And we'll take an all-over brush. I'm gonna dip that into our pigment and then put all over our lids. You know, it's beautiful. It's the first time I've used it. So when I think of summertime makeup, I think of like bronzes, copper, peach, red, things like that. I am digging this. This is so easy to put on. Gorgeous. Okay. I love this. Okay, so we're gonna take that same all over brush. I'm dusting the product off, and then I'm gonna actually take a little bit of this lighter color called Sexy. This is a total go-to color for almost any look. And I'm gonna put a little bit of that on my lids, just near the inner corner to kind of help it pop a little bit. So right there. See, it just gives it an extra little dimension. And it kind of brightens it up there to be almost a peachy color. Okay, good. Okay, and then something that you always want to do is blend the edges. So I'm using that same brush, and I'm just going to blend everything together, soften that up a little bit. I love this color. Gorgeous. Okay, that's perfect. So now I'm going to take the Glorious Face and Eye Makeup Primer. You can use it for eye makeup too, but the eye primer actually works better for that. So I'm going to use about this much, and I've already put some of the Divine Daily Moisturizer on my skin. So we're going to go straight to the primer. What primer does, it's going to help your makeup stick, last a little bit longer. Your skin's also going to look a little bit smoother. Okay, so let it dry. I use BB Flawless in the color Honey. So here we go. About this much. Rub together, blend in. BB Flawless is going to moisturize your skin, and it also has a natural sun protectant in it. It's going to give you a little bit of coverage. Especially during the summertime, I like to go just a little bit lighter with my coverage. So now I'm going to take the Touch Mineral Concealer and blend this with the BB Flawless in Bisque, which is the little bit lighter color. So here we go. With the concealer, not much at all. I'm gonna put a little bit of the Bisque because I like to, the concealer is super concentrated, so I like to tone it down a little bit with some BB Flawless. Okay, so it's gonna go under my eye. There. This little blending bud is really good for getting underneath your eye, and then the bigger blending bud is good for blending everything. I actually forgot to put a little bit under my brow bone, so I'll go back with this, and that's perfect for that. You can see that really brightened it right up. Gorgeous. Okay, so moving on, we're gonna touch some of the Touch Pressed powder. I wear the color Taffeta for now. I'm hoping that I'll wear a darker color in the summertime. Okay, once I get a good coat of powder on, I like to use the powder puff brush at least to blend it in. Okay. I am loving the way that my eyeshadow looks. I want to put a little bit of liner on my eyes, so I'm going to take eyeliner in the color Proper and just line right on top of my lash line. Not a whole lot, just a little. These colors look really good together. Okay, now I'm going to come in with this guy, the Beachfront Bronzer, and I'm going to dab my brush in, suck your cheeks in, so that you know the line to follow. Good. Now again, we're back to blending being key. So we'll take a little bit, put it at the top of the forehead, a little bit on the insides of the nose, and some on your neck. You don't want to forget your neck. If you blend your face and not your neck, they're going to look different. So now I'm really just going back and blending this all in. I've got back to my powder puff brush. You can get a little bit more powder if you need to. You want to make sure that those edges are smooth and that you've kept your highlight region, which is going to be on the top of your brow bone. A little bit on the top of my nose, T-zone. A little more powder on my chin. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty good about this bronze look. Perfect. So I'm going to wait and do my fiber lashes last. So the next thing we'll do are brows. So I like to brush them up to start with. I use the color light. Sometimes I use medium, but right now I'm doing light. So I trace the bottom of my brow and then get all the way out to the edge. And then I like to just feather up. You don't, or I don't want the edges to look too sharp. On my brows, I like them to look more natural. So that's why I do that. Feather, feather, feather. And then if you have a scar or something like over here I do, I ran into a door one. I like to color that in a little. Okay, so that looks good. So I'm gonna come back now with my brush and just kind of blend, back to blending. And then I'm going to take, I was gonna put brow gel on, but I don't have it set out, so that's fine. I'll do my lips next. So I'm using the liner in the color Pouty. Go right outside, like not too much, just right outside your natural line. Okay. And then I'm gonna use the lipstick color Upscale. With Gloss and Luxe, because it's a little pink right now, so I want to tone it down a little because I've got red on the eyes. That looks so pretty. I love it. Okay, so that's pretty much your complete look. The only thing that I have left to do are fiber lashes. Before I do that, I'm going to go back and I want a little bit more of the red eyeshadow kind of towards the outer crease edge. So like right here, I just wanted a little bit more. Couldn't get enough. So we'll repeat on the other side. Sometimes I have a tendency to not pull my eyeshadow out far enough. And I did that today. Okay. So once I get that done, I'm gonna wanna clean those edges up just a little bit probably. So I'm back to using this little concealer blending bud. Sorry for coughing, I'm a little sick. Okay, so that looks perfect. I mean, I am loving this. So now, since I kind of redid that, I'll want to come back with my eyeliner too and make sure that it's still a good solid color. Yeah, I like it. Okay, now time for fiber lashes. Are you ready? All right, first thing we're gonna use is the eyelash curler. You want to go to the base of your lashes, squeeze, count to like 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we use our transplanting gel first, and we're going to start at the base and wiggle our way up. You want to start at the base because that's going to separate your lashes, and you want to wiggle because it's going to create volume. And sometimes I'll do 2 coats here if I feel like, you know, I need a little extra something. But you definitely want to get your lashes the way that you want them to look while you're doing the transplant gel, because once you get the fibers on there, it's going to be a little bit harder to separate them exactly how you want to. So go ahead and do that now. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. You can use a comb if you want to, or you can just use the wand, which is what I'm doing. Okay, so that looks good. So now while those are still wet, I'm going to take my fibers, I'm going to roll it on the back of my hand to compress the fibers, and then I'm just, because I don't like mine too crazy, I'm just barely going to go on the ends of the outer edge. So I'm going to let those dry. I'm going to come back with my transplant gel again, and I'm going to seal the fibers in. And sometimes you need to go on the back side of the lashes too. And I'm going back with a second coat. And again, you still want to start at the base and wiggle your way up. If you've got a couple stubborn little fibers that are just kind of still holding on that you don't want right there, you can just grab them and pull them off. Perfect. Okay, on to the other side. So we're going to take our curler, curl, 1, 2, 3. We're going to go back to our transplant gel, apply. Okay, I'm going to go for my second coat on this one. The eyelashes are not always exactly the same on both sides. And that's okay. They're sisters, not twins. If they're a little shorter on one side, like this side is shorter for me, use the fibers to make them a little longer. Good. So those are on. And let them dry a little bit. Okay, seal them. So what I was talking about, the back of the lashes, sometimes you want to go on the top and like roll it out. Sometimes you'll just need to get a few fibers off that way. That actually looks pretty good. Kind of a stickler about my eyelashes being perfectly separated, but this looks good to me. I love it. I'm loving this eyeshadow color. Okay, so for the bottom lashes, you can use fibers if you want, but I just use the transplant gel. And I really don't put much on the bottom. Okay. Again, you still want to get close to the base when you're working with your lower lashes as well. That looks pretty good. Something to remember when you're doing your mascara, well, probably your makeup in general, that I've learned is to leave well enough alone. Sometimes you get to a point and you're like, should I keep going? And sometimes you go a little too far. Okay. So I'm gonna take my advice and leave well enough alone. So there's your look. Kind of a fun spring, summery pop of color and looking a little bit more tan, hopefully. Have a good one.